Tonight, grain producers SA launch a new campaign calling on farmers to dominate our region's dodgiest grain transporting roads. And pursuing higher education in the outback, CUC's open day in Broken Hill proves a hit with locals keen to further their education.
From our 7 Spencer Gulf Studios, your nightly news with Madeline Kerr begins now.
Good evening, thanks for joining us. Grain Producers SA has launched a new survey asking growers to put forward what they think is the worst grain road in the state. Freight via country roads is a major part of the industry, but some transport routes have been neglected. Farmers can now have their say as to which ones get fixed first.
An initiative to uncover the worst grain roads in the state. The new campaign is calling upon growers to nominate a road that needs to be improved.
So Grain Producers SA has launched the Worst Grain Roads campaign. We're really looking to highlight the routes and roads that the grain industry uses, not only for freight but also for farmers.
The South Australian grain industry generates over $3 billion in revenue each year, whilst employing 23,000 people. GPSA CEO Brad Perry says it's crucial the industry identifies the state's worst roads so they can begin to repair them.
We're hoping that we'll come out the end of this with a top 10 list of roads that we can really lobby on and highlight to show that these are the roads that are important to the grain industry.
Grain producers and freight companies set to reap the benefits.
Well, this campaign will benefit grain producers who use these roads every day. Yeah, definitely freight and transport who are, taking tens of thousands of tonnes of grain to silo or port.
People have from now until September 30 to voice their concerns by visiting the Worst Grain Roads website.
Yeah, so we're going to leave the roads campaign open until about the end of September, and following that we'll release a list of top 10 worst grain roads.
Henry Millick, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
Prospective and current students have braved the cold and early morning to attend the Country University's open day. A good mix of people went along to discuss a range of study options and suitable for those living in the far west of New South Wales.
It was a chilly and early morning for those attending the open day, but the bacon and eggs and coffee made braving the cold worth it. To talk about their future or a possible career change.
Yeah, really well. I think we had a good mix of community come in. I think, it was good, especially on a cold, chilly morning. We had a lot of people walk through the centre.
Staff were on hand to answer any questions, saying they enjoyed talking to people about what they may want to study and signing them up to the centre.
It was a really good mix of current and prospective, so we signed up a couple of current students and we had some other students looking at university courses, and then we had general community as well as some industry people as well.
Health was once again the most inquired about course, along with social work and education.
Health and allied health particularly, so some of those health related courses are ones that students are looking to go into because obviously they're a really big employer locally.
The centre had a helping hand by the Rotary Club, who manned the barbecue, and Bell's Milk Bar, whose van was making the coffees. Support they are happy to have.
It's great to have Rotary on board. It's great to have Bell's Milk Bar. It was perfect on this cold day to have warm coffee and a bacon and egg sandwich. It was fantastic to have their support.
If you missed the open day, you can still call into the centre on Crystal Street to talk to the friendly staff. Joshua Mercer, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
Still to come tonight, you never think it'll happen to you. The local woman stepping up for the month of August, raising money for breast cancer research. And more than 130 years after it was taken, a newly restored portrait is rehung at the Silverton Jail Museum. Welcome back. This August, Spencer Gulf residents are being encouraged to become a National Breast Cancer Foundation Super Stepper. Breast cancer is the second most commonly diagnosed cancer in Australia, and by taking part in the challenge, you'll raise money for vital research.
Tracy Jostrom decided to step up to the challenge.
September last year, I went to the breast screening bus that comes to Perry every couple of years, and I was diagnosed with breast cancer.
Tracy was fortunate the cancer was caught in the early stages and understands this is not the case for everyone, and promised herself she would do anything in her power to help.
There's lots of publicity. It's in the back of our mind when you mention cancer that it's going to happen to somebody else. You don't think it's going to happen to you.
The Step Up Challenge involves completing 10,000 steps a day throughout the month of August, which will not only raise funds but will improve your physical and mental health. Ways to get your step count up include walking to work, taking the dog for a stroll to the park, and you can do so while listening to some music or a podcast.
Myself, I know that I probably don't do 10,000 steps a day, so it will be a challenge for me, but one I'm up for.
Tracy decided to make posters with a description of the challenge, a photo of herself with a QR code which will take you to the website where you can donate or join the challenge yourself. If you would like to take part, visit the National Breast Cancer Foundation's website and step up in any way you can. And while the mobile breast cancer screening unit is currently serving other regional areas, it won't be back in Port Pirie until July next year. In the meantime, you can drop by your local GP for a checkup. Annabelle Francis, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
Broken Hill's newest bookshop has unfortunately had to postpone its opening. Big Sky Stories was scheduled to open today at 9 a.m, but organisers have had to push it back due to illness. The grand opening has instead been scheduled for Tuesday at the same time, 9 a.m. The store will not only sell books but will also sell macrame and hold workshops. For more information on the Big Sky Stories, you can contact them through their Facebook page. A piece of history has returned to the Silverton Jail Museum after 2 years of restorations in Melbourne. It's a vintage photograph of Charles Rasp, taken an astonishingly long time ago, all the way back in 1891.
It was a day 2 years in the making. A portrait of the founder of Broken Hill and BHP restored to its former glory.
Well, Charles Rasp portrait was in a sad state of repairs. I just have to walk past him one day and notice something different on it, so I sort of brought to the attention of the society.
The Broken Hill Historical Society, who run the Silverton Jail Museum, sent the portrait down to the Grimsway Conservation Service Centre for the repair, and it was gone for a while.
COVID was the problem, and we were sort of getting a bit itchy because sometimes things get lost in transit, but Kate had a good crew looking after it.
The society is happy the photograph has finally come home.
So it's very important for us. Yeah. So he's the main hitch. He was the founder of Broken Hill and BHP. So we had to do that.
The original picture was also taken for restoration. Unfortunately, that delicate piece of paper isn't quite finished.
The original's not back in town at the moment, but that will be taken to the art gallery and put into storage. We may be able to have him out now and then and just do an annual display.
And to get Charles Rasp back into great shape, BHP were the ones to foot the bill, a small price to pay for a $75.4 billion company.
They funded the cost for the restoration, so we're pretty chuffed about that. And we would hope to have someone out here to fly the BHP flag, but we'll do it for them.
The Silverton Jail Museum is open 7 days a week from 9 a.m. till 4 p.m. And it won't hurt your wallet to enter either, with entry fees reminiscent of a time gone by. Joshua Mercer, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
Stay with us after the break. From Streaky Bay to Cummins, the Rural Health Initiative helping Spencer Gulf farmers transform their health and well-being. And it's all the rage at the moment. Coming up, the importance of Illuminat in regional areas like Port Pirie. Welcome back to 7 Spencer Gulf News this Friday night. It's the initiative that's whipping farmers from across the Spencer Gulf into shape. The Fat Farmers program is expanding its operations by holding 4 community meets in the Eyre Peninsula next month.
From the paddocks to the gym, farmers from across the region are getting in shape through a new training regime. Now the program is making its way to the Eyre Peninsula.
So we'd love to get groups also started at Cummins, Elliston and Poochera. We did have a group sort of start at Streaky Bay, so we're using this event to sort of hopefully reboot that.
The program started in Maitland back in 2010 and has since grown across the state. Farmers are coming together for a weekly workout, making new mates along the way. A 10-week stint in Woodner has seen some real progress in both participants' physical and mental health.
It's like we've had 27 different people come through in 9 weeks, and we've been averaging around 14. So that's been really surprisingly a good turnout.
Personal trainer Jess Atkinson is mixing up their training sessions, saying it's been rewarding to see the farmers' progress.
So basically we've done a mix of boxing and even added in a little bit of HIIT the last couple of weeks because the guys seem like they're gaining fitness.
Coming along to the EP tour is guest speaker Warren Davies telling his story.
We've got a fantastic guest speaker organised in Warren Davies, the unbreakable farmer, and he has experienced drought as a dairy farmer in Victoria.
And it's not too late to get involved. To book a seat, send an email to info@fatfarmers.com.au. Henry Millick, 7 Spencer Golf News.
Constellation is set to illuminate Port Pirie next month. The program will combine scientific facts and the creativity of artists to uncover some of the Spencer Golf's secrets and to dive into the potential future of the region.
It's a hybrid of art and illumination. Illuminate has been shining a light on iconic landmarks throughout the regions over the last 15 years.
It was the idea of building something that was a team of people collaborating. And because it started in regional South Australia, it's very much grounded in how regional people can work together using remote collaboration tools.
Cindy says every place has its unique reason to live there, and this is an opportunity to bring communities together to appreciate spectacular art and to share memories.
When you live in a small town, sometimes you can feel as though, oh, nothing much happens here, or there's sort of this sense that you're in a backwater, but that's not true.
As part of the South Australian Living Artists Festival and Science Week in August, Port Pirie will feature as one of the 5 regional locations involved in a Constellation trail, which explores future themes of science in collaboration with talented artists.
We did research into the area to find out what the themes or what the issues were, from climate change through to potential innovations in the future.
The permanent projector here at City Park will be put to good use, with organisers encouraging residents to come along, bring a picnic, sit back and relax and enjoy the sunset while watching the art installation. The Sala Winter Festival kicks off in 2 weeks' time, on Friday, August the 5th. Annabelle Francis, 7 Spencer Golf News.
Speaking of art, there's only 1 day left to check out the Mulca Art Prize exhibition in Port Augusta. Last month, 49 artists from across South Australia were recognised at a cocktail event, with dozens of artworks going on display. The winning piece, titled Two Women, coming all the way from the APY lands, saw the artist pocket a well-deserved $20,000. The Mulca Art Prize is hailed as a springboard for local artists and has helped many achieve national prestige. Artists say the event is a unique opportunity to showcase their culture stories through art. The last chance to see the fabulous artwork is tomorrow between 10 a.m. and 1 p.m. at the Yata Pertley Art Gallery. Stay with us. After the break, our local football leagues head towards the pointy end of their competitions. Our footy tips are next. And we'll have the weekend weather details with John Hunt. Welcome back to 7 Spencer Golf News. As far as winter sports go, football has got to be one of the most popular in our slice of the world. And as most leagues head into round 12 this weekend, there's not long for teams to put in their all for a chance to play finals. Here's this week's footy tips.
Welcome to Port Lincoln Footy Tips. We kick things off at Pool Oval where Boston's are hosting Mallee Park. Both teams are struggling with form, but I think Mallee Park are going to come away with a win. I'm tipping them to win by 4 goals. In the next game, we've got Marble Range hosting Waybacks out at Wongaree. Marble Range haven't dropped a game, and even though Waybacks want to fight hard after their big loss last game, I can't see them winning. I'm tipping Marble Range to win this one, and win this one comfortably. In the final game, we've got Tasman's hosting Lincoln South at Ravendale Oval. This will be a great game to watch. Both teams are pretty fast in the midfield, but I think Tasmans have a little bit more experience and should win this one. I'm tipping them to win by 3 goals.
Hello and welcome to round 12 of SGL football. This round we've got 2 games up in Port Augusta and the one here in Port Pirie. In Pirie we got Ports taking on the Lions here on Memorial Oval. Lions have been pretty impressive this year and I expect their winning run to continue this week with a big win over Port. In Port Augusta, we got Solly's making the trip to Etzer Oval to take on Central, while over at Central Oval, it's South taking on West. South should account for West pretty easily, and I think Solly's will get over the top of Centrals.
Interesting round of football in Broken Hill this weekend. North plays Central at Jubilee Oval. Now, the winner of this game will go to second on the ladder. Both are just about guaranteed of playing finals. It's a toss of the coin. The Magpies, Central, get a few players back. I think they can beat North. At Alma Oval, South play West. South are grand final bound and they get 3 players back from the country championships. Mark Purcell, Mitch Henderson and Cat Shawn. Too many big guns for the Robins. South to win at home and Central at the Jube.
Some good matchups there. Time now to take a look at what's happening in the weather with John Hunt. John, happy Friday. How's the weekend looking?
Good evening, Maddie. Happy Friday to you too. Well, it depends what you're after. There's sun, rain, wind, a bit of everything on the way. I'll have more on that in just a moment. Looking at today's temperatures now, and Coober Pedy had a cold morning, warming up to 19 degrees. Broken Hill topped 17 degrees, and Woodner reached 15 degrees just after 1 p.m. Looking more broadly at today's temperatures, 17 degrees was the top in Port Augusta, Port Pirie and Whyalla. 14 in Port Lincoln, and Kadina reached 13 degrees. Taking a look at the satellite image now, and a large high pressure system over the Tasman is maintaining a ridge of high pressure over SA. A weakening change will move into the far west of the state today before dissipating, with a northerly airstream continuing tomorrow, ahead of another change in the west on Sunday, extending eastwards early Monday. Moving on to tomorrow's weather outlook now, and we'll start with the Gulf waters. Northerly winds 10 to 15 knots, tending northwesterly early in the morning, before turning variable below 10 knots. Seas below 1 metre, and a south to southwesterly swell below 1 metre, increasing to 1 and 1.5 metres south of Cowell to Wallaroo by early morning. Between 7 and 18 degrees in Port Lincoln tomorrow, mostly sunny in Cleve, 18 degrees there as well. Woodner mostly sunny and 19. Mostly sunny in Whyalla, 19 degrees. Port Augusta heading for a warm top of 21, and Kadina will be partly cloudy and 16. Between 9 and 19 in Port Pirie and Broken Hill, and a few clouds about. Clare's set to reach a partly cloudy top of 19. Taking a look further through the week now, and Coober Pedy will be windy and hot on Sunday, 27 degrees. The wind will only exacerbate the dust blowing around. Elsewhere, showers across the Spencer Gulf region, temperatures in the late teens and early 20s. Moving on to Monday's outlook now, and we can say goodbye to temperatures in the 20s. 19 in Port Augusta and Broken Hill, 17 in showers in Whyalla and Port Pirie, drizzly around Woodner and Port Lincoln, 15 degrees. And finally Tuesday, and look at that, showers are gone, but the clouds are here to stay. Temperatures between 15 and 17 degrees across the board. And that's all in weather from me for tonight. Enjoy the footy coming up next. Have a great weekend, everyone. It's back to you, Maddie.
Thanks for that, John. Have a great weekend. And that's the local news this Friday. I'm Madeline Kerr. Thanks for joining us. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. You can stay up to date with Spencer Golf News by visiting our Facebook or Instagram pages. But for now, it's good night.